Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, you know what I'm going to say. Hit that subscribe button if you are already a continued subby. You know I love you for it. With that said, before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week for your key to the week, you have the Moon card. Moon card has been very active in some way, shape or form this week, and what I will say to you is this: when you have the Moon as the key to the week, this is a time for you to get to the root causes of everything, right? Whether this is a health issue, whether it is a relationship issue, whether it's a financial issue, like whatever it is that you are experiencing discomfort with, this is a time to go straight to the root, to go straight to the source. It can sometimes kick up a little bit of confusion, and sometimes it can see us seeing things as we want them to be rather than the way that they actually are. And so for that reason, this is a week to observe things, maybe not necessarily to make any big actions or bold declarations. This would be a moment where you could kind of take it back, observe things exactly as they are, probe a little deeper so that you can get into the nitty-gritty of something and go to the source. Like, where is this coming from? What is it? You know, very often it's like in the healing sense as well, right? The symptoms are only the surface layer. There's something else at a deeper level going on, and this week checking in with yourself at that deeper level is going to be really beneficial for you. Go into the subconscious self. Ask yourself, you know, if you've got an issue with anything in life, okay, these are the symptoms, but what is the cause of it? What is it that's coming from within me that is a response to the external that I can't cope with, that I don't like, that doesn't sit right with me? All right, you'll have to excuse the light in. I know but it's really dark today, so I'm sorry about that. For your actions and options this week, you have the Emperor. Look at that, right? So this would be a week for you to, and I'm not even talking about a second opinion here, this would be a week for you to get a professional opinion. Whatever this is, you know, whatever this is in regard to, this is a week where you know yourself, right? Taurians are very good with this sort of thing. They know themselves inside and out usually, because there's no subtlety. That's one of the things that I love about you guys, right? None of the fixed signs have subtlety, not even Aquarius, and that's an air sign. The Emperor here is kind of highlighting this week where you know what you know, but what you know isn't quite enough. You're going to need to get some sort of outside perspective, whether this is seeing a medical professional, a financial professional, maybe seeking out a counselor or a teacher of some sort. It's like whatever you know, whatever knowledge you have, it's not enough on its own. You need somebody else to back it up or to flesh it out. For your communications and conversations, you have the Seven of Swords. And this coupled with the Moon card is not a good combination, I have to say. You guys know me by now. I'm very honest about the way that I read. You know, when I see great stuff, I will tell you. When I see the shitty stuff, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you. Your Seven of Swords can literally on its own represent lies and deceit. We talked about what the Moon card can sometimes represent. This week, unless it's coming from the horse's mouth, so if there's any gossip that comes at you, if somebody tells you something and it reaches your ears and you think, wow, you know what, I can't believe that person said that about me, or I can't believe this person has done that, like whatever it is, unless you hear it directly from the horse's mouth, this week I would be very wary. Take everything that you hear with a pinch of salt, unless of course it's coming from, you know, from a professional in their field. The other thing that I want to say here as well is check in with that. Like if somebody says something to you and your cognitive dissonance kicks in and makes you go, I'm not sure I buy that, or I'm not sure I agree with that, this would be the week to speak up, right? It's really important that you call this out when you see it, if you feel it. And it may very well be going forward. So just something for you to be aware of. For your money and materials, money looks good. You've got the Ace of Pentacles, right, which is lovely. What this tells me is when it comes to your finances this week, there could be a fresh start or a new beginning. It means that in some regard, whatever is being presented this week that has a financial slant to it, it's going to have far-reaching ripples, all right? And this is great. I mean, it falls underneath the Emperor card. So for those of you that are hoping to apply for loans, you know, funding of any sort, or maybe, you know, just doing maybe a contract of some sort or a new job, this is a great week for that kind of thing. The one thing that I want you to be aware of though is if there's anything of a contractual nature, no Mercury retrograde anymore, but just be sure that whatever you're signing is A, giving what it promises to give, and B, not tying you into something that you're not aware of. For your home and your environment, your Ace of Pentacles is lovely, right? Because it suggests that the home is about to become more fruitful. So from here on in, you should see more steady increases, which is great. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, because you've got the Seven of Swords there and the Emperor, this would be a week where if you are feeling any aches, pains, physical, go and see somebody that does manual therapy, an osteopath, a chiropractor, somebody that knows the body in those ways, right? You get a lot out of it this week. You really could. Even acupuncture as well, because you've got the Seven of Swords there. So yeah, you could, yeah, that might be a good use. And then for your love and relations, you have the Knight of Cups. So for those of you that are single, look at this, right? You've got the Seven of Swords and the Moon card. I'm going to say this, not for all of you, but for a lot of you. If you're meeting somebody this week or you're connecting with somebody that's been around for a while and this person goes AWOL, there is more to it. And this week you want to ask those questions. Where have you been? Why haven't I heard from you? Is there a reason we're not connecting? If you're here in the UK, slightly different because we're actually in lockdown at the moment. But, you know, that's even less excuse not to hear from someone for days at a time, isn't it? Because we're all glued to our phones at this moment in time. So just something to be aware of. The reason I say that, your Knight of Cups, usually it's like an offer or a declaration of love. Somebody could be selling you a pipe dream. They might be promising more than they can give. They might be completely duplicitous and have somebody else on the side. This would be a week just to be very cautious when it comes to new relationships. For those of you that are partnered already, the Knight of Cups here, this week your partner may ask you for something, and it might be one of those moments where they say, look, you're going to have to trust me. And I would never ever tell you not to trust your partner. If you've been with them long enough, then you know them well enough. You know, if they're going to ask something like that, there'll always be a good reason. I get the impression, just with the cards that are present, they may have made a bit of a fuck up and they're trying to fix it without having to pull you in. All right, so I will say this, if you know them and you know this is a decent person, let them deal with their own mess. And then if it gets out of hand, just, you know, maybe even put that in and just say, you know what, that's cool. I will do this. I will trust you. But if it gets on top, please just let me know so we can fix it together. All right. So just something for you to be aware of. Not the easiest of weeks for sure, but either which way, I think you can swing it. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up if it's not too personal. Take care and I'll see you soon.